Hello, in this tutorial I'm going to show you some basic editing techniques using Nik Silver Efex. So, you need to find the image, a JPEG, a color JPEG that you would like to edit into black and white. You right click and you open with here Silver Efex Pro 2. If your image won't open for any reason, it might be because it's not a JPEG or it's been saved into black and white already. So you've got to make sure that it is a color image or that you change it to RGB. Now, when your photograph opens up, it will immediately open up in black and white. What you've got here on the left-hand side are lots of different presets. Now, with Nik Silver Efex, sometimes when you first open it, it's quite slow, so you have to be quite patient for it. It'll open up in the neutral. That means this is the exact black and white replica of your colour image. Now, down here on the left are all different presets that you can just choose to begin with. At the bottom, they tend to be the artier ones. So, for example, we've got an old-fashioned sepia-looking photograph, a kind of Victorian-style photograph, a pinhole photograph. So these are the more artier ones. And then at the top, you have got the more standard ones. Now, full dynamic is one that students commonly use, and also full contrast. So it's up to you to choose the image or the preset that you think will have the nicest effect on your photograph. Now, over here you've got some basic editing tools. So you've got brightness. Now brightness, obviously, as it says, if you go higher with it, it will go brighter. If you take it down to the other side, it'll go darker. So that's your brightness. Contrast, again, more contrast, less contrast. So the grayer, so the further left you go, the grayer it is. The further right you go, the more sort of graphic-y it looks. And then structure is quite interesting. Take structure down one way, becomes very, very smooth. Take it up the other way, and it becomes a lot grainier. So they're your basic, everyday kind of edits. But what you do have in Nik Silver Efex is this little control point. So if I click on the control point, and let's say I want to work on this image here, this part of the image here, I'll click on it, and there's a little arrow, and you click on that. Now these are all your individual sliders. That means this one is brightness, contrast, structure, so exactly the same, it echoes those. This one will amplify the whites, this will amplify the blacks in the image, this will give you even more editing for structure, and then this one is selective colour. So, first thing you need to do is to work out the area that you want to edit. If you click on here, you will see that at the moment, that's the area within that circle, that's what's going to be mostly affected. If you want to make it bigger, you move along on the slider, and if you want to make it smaller, again. So I'm just going to work on this little bit here. So if you can see, if I just move the brightness, it'll just brighten that area or darken it. And the same thing, it'll just do the structure in that area, and it won't affect any of the other parts of the area. If I want to, let's amplify the whites, it'll just do that little section there. Okay. But also, what you can do with this selective colorization, it will bring back the original color, but just in that little section. So if you wanted to, once you're happy with it, you don't want to do any more to that area, you just go back to your control point and it'll disappear. When you want to work, let's say we're in this area here, you'll see, then it'll show you which bits you've already kind of edited. So let me do that selective colorization here. You see, you can just bring it through in certain areas. Okay. And again, if I thought, oh, that's a bit too bright, I want to darken it, it'll just work on that area and no other. Okay. And again, when you finish doing your editing, just click your control point. Now, down here, we got things like film types, which I don't think you need to bother with really. It's just showing you, it's just giving you the effect of old films from the past. If you wanted to create an effect from, you know, films from 20, 30 years ago. But what we do have is finishing adjustments, which is quite nice. So I'm going to go in to finishing adjustments. Things you've got, first of all, toning. You have to be careful on toning because you can get it really wrong and do something a bit horrible like that. So when you're choosing maybe a tone for it, maybe do something very, very nice and subtle like this. These are quite nice, these kind of sepia tones, but not something like this. You need to basically stay away from these over-the-top tones, I think. But this is quite nice. These are coffee tones. But the top one's particularly nice, so we'll go for that. What else you've got are image borders. So it'll give you a border if you want to, but again, you might not want them, and they might just be a bit too intrusive into your image, so turn that off. But these are quite nice, the vignettes and the burn edges. If you go into burn edge, I'll show you, that's custom, so soft edge 2, you see it just gives it a darker edge. That's slightly lighter, so you can see differences as I'm going along. I might go for that one. And again, if you've got another slider, a vignette slider, and I'll go through these. So black frame 2, black frame 1, not as strong, white frame 1, and then you've got the lens fall off as well. So it's up to you. This tends to work really nicely, and it does give a nice kind of soft frame to it, so I will go for this one, I think. Okay. And then all you do when you're completely happy with your image, then you simply save it. And it will save a similar version to, or let's save the black and white version rather, to the same place. So because I had the colour version saved on my desktop, it saved the black and white version back onto the desktop. So it's a really nice tool to use. It's a lot quicker than trying to edit it in Photoshop, and the effects are a lot stronger, I think. Okay then, that's the end of the tutorial. Thank you.